Is the new bootstake shotgun the next best thing in Fortnite? Today, you and I are going to put it to the test. I've spent the past 2 weeks testing this gun in game and gathering all the data and information so that you don't have to. Today, I will teach you everything I've found out, from the basics through stats and numbers, and you'll also learn tips and tricks on how to use this gun to its full potential. By the end of this video, you'll get your own bootstake expert's degree. The examination of the bootstake starts now. Let's see if it's actually worth using. Before we dive deep, let's just take a step back and look at the design of this thing. I mean, it just looks amazing. It just fits the Halloween theme perfectly. But then again, looks won't win you crown games. Right, Moon? So let's see the basics. As its description says, the bootstake shotgun fires a wooden stake that deals significant damage at close range. It was created to fight the vampires and the undead, but it's still good against most things. It's very easy to come across since it's basically all over the place as fort and chest loot. Also, you can get one from the new revamped augment. It comes in blue, purple and gold rarity, although there's a mythic version in creative, so you can probably expect to see that somewhere as well. It has medium-sized crosshairs with a small dot in the center, which shrinks to a tiny square when you ADS. This tells us already that this is not your regular pellet shotgun, but rather a slug type one, just like the breacher and the heavy shotgun was. But what's the difference between the two types of shotguns? Now, I'm not a weapons expert, but here's what I know from having played shooter games all my life. The difference between the two is that pellet type shotguns shoot more projectiles that spread within your crosshairs. Because of this, the crosshairs stay relatively similar in size when hip firing and aiming down sights. The slug type is the exact opposite, since it shoots out one big projectile. Shooting while aiming grants much better accuracy for the expense of the crosshairs being much larger when not aiming down, therefore making it a lot harder to hit hipfire shots. Because of this, slug type shotguns are better used at a bit longer range where action is not happening right in your face, giving you a better chance at aiming, while pellet shotguns are best used at point blank range where obviously more pellets can hit your target. With that being said, having good accuracy is far more important with slug shotguns because you'll either get a fixed amount of damage if you hit your target or you'll get 0 damage if you miss even by an inch. There is no in between. Well then, let's go down to the shooting range. Here we have the bootstake in all currently available rarities and we are going to test them from different ranges. From 5 meters, the blue one does 161 damage to the head and 92 damage to the body, limbs and basically everywhere else. The purple one does 170 damage to the head and 97 to anywhere else, and the gold one does 177 damage to the head and 101 to everywhere else. Now let's go a bit further, since as I've said before, slug type shotguns are better used from a bit further out, so let's see how the damage drops at 10 meters. From this range, the blue one does 151 to the head and 87 to the body, the purple one does 159 to the head and 92 to the body, and finally the gold one has 165 headshot damage and 95 body shot damage, which means around a 6% drop. As you can see, 5 meters of difference doesn't hit this gun too hard in the damage department. Using it from a bit longer out is probably the way to go, since you'll hit almost the same damage, but you'll also get a better chance of actually hitting your shots. But here's the catch. Interestingly, the bootstake's damage is not scaled. What that means is that it doesn't do the same damage between say 5 meters and 10 meters. Its damage basically drops with distance consistently. Because of this, if you go a bit further out than 10 meters, it loses around 9 to 12 damage with every single meter. Up until a point where at 15 meters, even the gold version becomes kind of weak, having a max damage of 112. And it's not just weaker compared to other slug shotguns like the heavy and the breacher. It's even weaker than the current pellet type shotguns like the Infiltrator and the Sharp Tooth, which is very surprising. This is why 15 meters is the most distance I'd use this shotgun at, because further out it basically becomes a pea shooter. Here, the blue version does 106 to the head and 61 to the body, the purple variant does 112 to the head and 65 to the body, and the gold one has 117 headshot damage and 68 body shot damage. Now let's continue and see the TTK. Hang on, what's going on here? Oh, is it this late already? I must have lost track of time. Sorry guys, before we continue we have to take a little break. I have to give Moon her lunch. But since you're here, would you like to give her a little treat? She'd appreciate it a lot. You see, I've linked the subscribe button down below to a machine that fills Moon's kiddie bowl. So taking 0.5 seconds of your time and clicking it is all you have to do. See? You've made her day. Thanks a lot guys. Now let's continue and see the TTK, aka how much time it takes to actually down someone with this weapon at different ranges. Keep in mind that I'm a zero build player myself, so these tests will be performed on a target with 250 health. If you play Fortnite Minecraft edition, then the TTK will be slightly lower for you, since in Minecraft players only have 200 health. So going back again to 5 meters point blank range, the blue version has a 2-shot theoretical TTK of 0.91 seconds and a 3-shot realistic TTK of 1.64 seconds. The purple version has a 2-shot TTK of 0.87 seconds, hitting only headshots, and a 3-shot TTK of 1.67 realistically. And finally the gold version will down someone in 0.48 in theory and in 1.64 realistically. Now at 10 meters the TTK is basically the same as at 5 meters. Again, further pointing out that there is pretty much no drawback of using this gun at around 10 meters rather than up close. And finally, let's see the TTK at 15 meters. The blue variant has a 3-shot theoretical TTK of 1.67 and a very slow 5-shot realistic TTK of 3.64 seconds, since it only holds 4 shots and you have to start a reload animation mid-fight. The purple variant will down someone in theory with 3 shots in 1.64 and realistically with 4 shots in 2.44 seconds, and theoretically you can down someone with the gold one with 3 shots in the same 1.64 and realistically with 4 shots in 2.47 seconds. So to sum up, if you hit every shot you can down someone between 0.8 and 1.6 seconds at 5 meters, the same 0.8 and 1.6 seconds at 10 meters, and somewhere between 1.6 and 2.4 seconds at 15 meters with the gold wood stake, which is not bad at all considering you can use the wood stake for a 2-gun loadout. Now, what are the best strats if you want to use the wood stake, and should you be using the wood stake in the first place? Firstly, you have to be super accurate with this thing to make it work. Missing shots even barely can lose your fight. It's much less forgiving than pellet shot is. Now, obviously there are players, hackers, that have dead shot aim, but for the most of us, making the wood stake work will take loads of practice, but honestly, I'm not too sure if it's worth it because it's surely going to be removed when Fortnite match is over. Another thing to consider is the general skill level of the lobbies that you play in. If you happen to get games into a bit lower skilled lobbies where your opponents don't really move around much in fights, you can probably pull off the wood stake with no problems. On the other hand, if you tend to get sweatier lobbies where people have good movement, I'd probably stick to the other shotgun options, especially in solos. Finally, if you want to use the wood stake, revamped is a must-have. Without that, I just don't see how this shotgun can compete with the other shotgun options. First shotgun is a great addition as well, so definitely go for bore if your purse allows for all the rerolls, of course. In conclusion, I really honestly want to like the wood stake shotgun, but the sad truth is, with my aim skills and my lobbies, I just can't get to love it. I think it's a fun alternative to switch things up a little bit, but for the 2 augments it is viable. But if you are trying your best to get wins, I'd advise you to choose something else. All in all, I'll give it 7 Phantom Youth Schools out of 10. But this is just my take on this. Let me know, what do you think about the wood stake? And congratulations guys, now you have your wood stake expert's degree. If you enjoyed this experience or learned something new today and would like to improve your Fortnite gameplay, check out my channel. I try my best to create content in every aspect of Fortnite: news, updates, guides, tutorials, memes and funny montages in both long form videos and shorts. Thanks a lot for everything, have a great spooky season. Benny out for now.